Yo, welcome to Containing Luxury. On today's episode, we're going to be covering the timeline for our construction build. Let's get started. Timeline, as always, the disclaimer, timelines can vary. So we're going to be discussing our 3-container build. We announced previously that we're building a 3-container house down near downtown West Palm Beach. And that 3-container, we're trying to build the most economical, simple designed house. We're going to go through how I came up with the time frame for our build. Typically in South Florida, our permitting is a lengthy process. It can sometimes take you, a month, 2 months, 3 months. I've even heard people say 6 months to get a building permit for a new construction project. Now, typically there's a lot of variables in that as well. If you have a very detailed architect and he inputs all the information onto the plans on the original submittal, you might not have any corrections to be made and it goes through relatively quickly. However, if you have a different architect that is not very detailed and left out 90% of the stuff, then they might have to correct each individual phase of review. So in smaller communities, you might have one person that reviews all the trades, like in a small building department or a real building department. In fact, you might have areas that don't even require building plans at all. But where we are, it's the complete opposite. It is super detailed. We have to have tons of information to build my garage. I think I had 15 pages of big sheets of plans. Our architect has experience building container homes. They're very detailed. I don't think we're gonna have very many corrections. However, container homes are also new, so they might have questions and there's gonna maybe be corrections. With that being said, I came up with a time frame that I believe it will go through our process. So I gave us 2 months. Now that we already own the land, we've already done a lot of the preliminary stuff. I think we're 2 months away to actually being issued our building plans. And what that 2 months is going to account for is our surveys to be done, our architectural drawings to be completed 100%. We already had a floor plan, so we're a little bit further along in that aspect. And then the plan review time, which we're gonna give them approximately 45 days to plan review. And that's assuming we're not gonna have a lot of corrections. So that 2 months could easily turn into 3 months. So you gotta give yourself some leeway. There is a way in some cities that you can speed up that time frame. One might be hiring a permit runner. So that's actually just a third party that you hire. They're very familiar with the building plan systems, the plan review systems. They usually know people in the building departments. So they'll sometimes be able to catch some stuff that you didn't put in your pack, or your packet of files that's going to the city and say, oh, you need this, they require it there. Being a state licensed general contractor, you would assume that they have a statewide system. They don't. Every single building department has their own review system, their own document submittal system, how many copies they want, how they need to be folded. And it's incredibly frustrating as a state license that every single building department is completely free from every other building municipality around you. So I could deal with 4 different building departments within 10 miles of my house, and each one is gonna have a completely separate system, and I have to submit all my licensing information, insurance information to each individual building department. So, and then documents expire and then you have to resubmit it to not only that one, but to that one, to that one, to that one. So this is where, if you're a licensed contractor and people think like, oh, the contractor's making all the money, it's also a ton of work. A lot of time you have to have an administrative person in your office taking care of all this stuff. But anyway, complete tangent. But if your contractor's telling you, hey, look, I've got or my paperwork expired with them, that's a pretty common problem to have. Like, it might expire with one building department, but you haven't pulled a permit with that municipality in a couple of months. So, there's gonna be stuff that you need to account for and have that time frame. But back to permit runners, if you hire them, they might be able to expedite that process for you, getting it done faster. There's also, in some building municipalities, you can pay an additional fee and they'll actually push yours through. Of course, you know, if you have money, you can just buy your way to the front.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Next, I've allocated 1 month for site work, which is going to include any grading work I need to do with bobcats or, you know, tractors, getting our excavation in place. What, Teddy, really? Okay, Teddy wanted to come say hello. All of our foundation work now, in most cases, I would hope if you're building a container home, you don't have a slab foundation. If you're doing that, you might as well just build a regular structure because that's really expensive. So in our case, we're just gonna do like a stem wall, and the container's just gonna sit on that stem wall, and that's why we're going with the super simple square, so that we can just build a square, the containers go in, boom, boom, boom. So hopefully that's gonna go pretty quick with us. But either way, we accounted 1 month for our foundation and bringing in utility work and any site work required. So guys, as always, quick chime in, Blackout Coffee, great holiday gift, link in the description. Small family-owned company, roasted right here in Punta Gorda. They have a bunch of different blends and it's holiday time, keep you nice and warm. Link in the description, coupon code, free shipping. Back to the video. Then we have another 1 month for just basic structure. Exterior framing, interior framing, roof systems, and all that kind of stuff. 1 month for all of our interior finishings and exterior finishings. Now, we're a contractor, we do this all the time, so we have all these different people in place. There's my dog eating a slipper, a pink slipper. I swear that's not mine. Hashtag dog life. That's gonna be drywall, cabinetry, doors, interior doors, painting, finishings, all that kind of stuff. We're good with like multitasking. We have like some guys doing this while the other guys are doing this, and we've got 4 different subcontractors working at once. So our timelines, considering how big of a nightmare permitting is and getting that preliminary time frame done, we're actually pretty condensed. So totaling everything out, we estimated 5 to 6 months for an estimated completion broken into 2 phases of preliminary work and actual construction work. Now, that broke down to roughly 2 months of preliminary and 3 months of actual construction. It might, you know, I want to give myself that extra month again, just like I do in my budgets, that I have a little bit of cushion. But if we look at 6 months, it's kind of crazy because it's a super simple structure. And you took all the permitting out of it, you could have that done in probably 2 months because of all the inspections, and we have a really crazy building review system, which is good because you get hit by 200-mile-an-hour winds potentially. So it's really good that we have that system. It's pretty severely flawed, and that is the most inefficient system I've ever seen in my life. And I would really wish that the government, if you're listening and you're watching this and you are in a position to make decisions, please simplify the system so more people pull permits. It's like almost like punishing people that try to do it the right way. Okay, so we could probably condense that down if you were dealing with an area that you didn't have to have building permits, or you had an area that was really easy to work with, a small community, 1 plan reviewer. You might submit all your documentation that's really basic, and they might call you at the end of the week and say, yeah, looks good, good to go. So your 3 months gets chopped down to 1 week, or 2 weeks. So your build could potentially go way faster. So again, we're only able to comment on what we go through in our specific location. And I'm sure people watching in New York City or California would chime in and be like, yeah, take that time frame and multiply it, it will take us 4 years to build the same thing. So it's really gonna be contingent upon where you're located. But I think 6 months for most places is a realistic time frame to build a 3-4 container home. So anyway, that's about all we could help with as far as time is concerned. We hope that our estimate is helpful to you, and if you have any questions, hit the comments. Again, as always, thank you for watching and subscribing to our channel, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It's somewhere in this vicinity. This vicinity? I don't even know what the camera can see.